All right, this is Jim Crashers Live. It is January 22nd, 2019, 7 p.m. Catch us here every week on Tuesday nights. We are Event TV Global. You see it right there in front on the table. Also going to give a shout out to a lot of our friends that support the show. We got Virus, located in Huntington Beach. We got Miss Mary Jane, known for their great CBD products. Who else do we got up there, Producer Robert? Oh, the Gym Crashers. That would be us. That's our logo. We got T-shirts. We got stickers. We got tennis shoes. We got geese. Anything you want with that Gym Crasher logo, hit us up. Producer Robert will get it made. Turp House, going big. A lot of fighters represented by Turp House. Great CBD product again. Giving them a shout out. And Virus once again. And I know there's a couple others. One notably would be Our Life CBD. And No to PTSD. Sean Lerma and crew. But welcome to Gym Crashers. Got plenty to talk about. Got guests coming on. Got George Francis from Fighters Rep. We've got Henry Corrales, who's fighting in Bellator this weekend against Aaron Pico. But Producer Robert's going to keep us going at this moment while we wait for the guests and wait for our co-host to show up. But to get rolling, man, I don't know if anybody saw that TJ Dillashaw versus Henry Cejudo fight this weekend, but that was gnarly. Guy was emaciated. Maybe dropped 10 pounds below what he should have dropped or even more, but Henry was in tip-top shape. TJ was not present. It didn't look like, at least, just to kind of sum it up, but devastated within 30 seconds. What's your take on that, Robert?
I was going for Cejudo. I thought he would be stronger. I think he would be faster at that point. I just thought that his game plan looked pretty good. I felt like he pressured him a lot more than a lot of everybody would have thought of, because the style that TJ has, he likes to run that footwork. He likes to keep you guessing. He likes to be in and out when he wants to. But the pressure came straight away. He pushed him back, get him on his back pedal. TJ tried to dance and try to get that space. Cejudo was like, nah, I'm just going to keep coming. He pushed him down. And realized,
I was going to say, that was just a push and he fell down, and then he got on top of him.
Yeah. I mean,
so he wasn't there.
Cejudo said that he clipped him with that head kick. I don't know. Did you see George?
I did.
Hop on, buddy. Come on.
Early. We got George Francis early.
Welcome, George. We got George in-house. George, you look wonderful. This is what George looks like. Don't worry.
I look like the cat burglar. I'm not used to
good to have you.
Cold weather here. Here, next to you.
Right here's fine. Where you at? It's good.
Thank you.
Anywhere you like. Good to have you, brother.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
George Francis is here representing Fighters Rep. Look at that shirt. Take one in extra large to your crew that followed you up here.
You'll definitely get one.
All good, man. So I'm seeing stuff all over. There's social media. There's been great fights for Fighters Rep. Hearing about it in dojos, it's definitely coming up.
Thank you so much. I love your background here.
That's it, man. That's L.A.
Oh, it's amazing.
Welcome to L.A.
What you guys are doing here.
Thank you. I love it. Well, we got to represent well. We got you in, so what it's all about. Where was the most recent Fighters Rep? Tell us about that.
So the last Fighters Rep that was 100% Fighters Rep was in Studio City at the Sportsman's Lodge.
I love that location. It's a great venue. Oh, let me get the mic for George. Somebody must be messing with our mics. George.
So it was at Sportsman's Lodge, and I say 100% Fighters Rep because I also help CXF with their amateur card.
Of course.
They're kind of,
they handle a lot of what goes on in Burbank, Van Nuys, North Hollywood.
Yeah,
right?
And
CXF has a handle on it.
I kind of hate to say it, but they're probably like one of the few very strong remaining pro California-based promotions.
Sure.
So I'm happy to be involved with them and kind of help build the Amis through them as well. So I co-promote with them.
Sure. A shout out to George. He puts on a great show. We've worked with him, of course, with CXF and with Celtic Gladiator, so I know exactly what you mean. They're a big help in making things go smoothly and successfully. And those venues, it seems like home now because we've all been there so much.
Yeah. And, I wish we had more going on as far as definitely pro shows in combat sports. But we got to build it. There's a desperate need for us to build something.
I think you guys are on the right path.
Thank you.
The buzz is out there.
I'm trying my best.
Yeah. Very cool. Anything coming up in the near future? So we did Studio City, that was the real Fighters Rep. What are you thinking about for the next one?
So on February 2nd, we're 11 days away from Fighters Rep. It'll be Fighters Rep 5. It's going to be Muay Thai and kickboxing. It's my first IKF sanctioned show, which I'm really excited about. It's a lot of MMA. You know, I think combat sports and MMA is kind of saturated at this point. I do wish there was more pro stuff going on, but as far as AMI, it's very saturated. And I kind of want to build the striking aspect of combat sports and give fighters an alternative sort of career, you know? And so that's why I'm really interested in the kickboxing and Muay Thai stuff. I mean, if you look at it, even definitely from the pro aspect, I mean, we've got Glory, right, that comes out here. They're a European company.
Yep.
I mean, why is there not a Glory here in the U.S.? You know, I mean,
you might be right. It's what people want to see.
Right.
Right. People definitely get, I should say the average spectator gets a little frustrated and bored when things go to the ground or when they're locked up on the cage. But when they're striking, that's what the Americans want to see.
And it's another thing for fighters to do, even guys who, you know, do come from a grappling base. I have tons of MMA guys that are going to be fighting on this show.
Very cool.
CSW, Josh Barnett's guys, UWF USA, Chad George's guys, you know, all of them are going to be on this card on Saturday. Not this one, but the following one, February 2nd. And I think it's great. You know, the concept is to kind of bring guys in from all the different disciplines and have them stand and bang it out, you know.
Yeah, it's a great venue to do that, so I'm glad to hear that and excited to see that fight. The card I know is stacked. We got another guest in-house. Henry Corrales is in. Come on in, Henry Corrales. This is George Francis.
How's it going, Henry? Nice to meet you, brother. All right.
How are you, brother?
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming, man.
Yo.
Henry in the house. Henry has been in this house before.
Yo.
So thank you so much. And
my roots, baby.
Yeah.
This is where I'm from, right here.
I love it, man. There was a time when you rode up on a moped, but I know that those days are past.
I had a moped. Oh, it was a good time.
Okay. Let's check Henry's mic to make sure we're live. And yeah, we're good. We're solid.
Sweet.
Can you see your house from here?
I bet. You know, Henry's out in Phoenix now. Right? But yeah, I dig the background. Thank you, producer Robert, for putting that together.
I love it, man. I kind of want one myself.
Yeah. So George,
yeah,
I know we got Henry here, and there's a lot I can talk to him about. But before I even get on that, how did you get on the path of starting Fighters Rep? And I realize you're passionate about striking, and you want to bring that to the forefront. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What gets you going? I mean, I know you're training over there at CMMA. I've seen you over there.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up playing sports, you know. My whole family played sports. They did combat. My dad did taekwondo and boxing, Greco-Roman wrestling. And I grew up, you know, training and playing all kinds of sports. I was more of a football, basketball guy. I'm from Miami, so that's what we did down there. Usually it was football. But I played a lot of basketball because, you know, my height, I guess. And I just felt like a lot of guys with a lot of talent were glossed over, over and over again. And I always loved like wrestling and combat sports. I was like, what can I do, you know, that's not depressing? Because I'm a lawyer, you know. I was a lawyer, and it was like really.
I would think that
tough.
would be an essential background to have when you get to the being a promoter and being somebody in charge of their own promotion because of all that goes on. It's so important.
I think it definitely helps. Right? Yeah.
Feel free to chime in.
A lot of agents are lawyers.
Yeah.
My
It helps.
Jason House, my agent.
That's right. Jason is a lawyer.
Yeah, and he's so key to have in your corner.
Yeah. So, you know, I said, hey, I'm going to do something I love. I was doing something I hated at the time. I got to do something I love, combat sports. Let me start a promotion up. I saw other people doing it. I saw them throwing so much money away, wasting it on so much crap, hiring people. I don't know why they were hiring them. I said, I could do a better job than this, you know. So I started my own about a year and a half ago, and it's been really well. We've done... if you take the CXF stuff into consideration, we've done like I've done like 7 MMA shows.
I was going to say, I know you're getting up there because I've seen the name for a while now, and I knew it was more than 5. So
I appreciate it.
I get it. I understand working with George going to make that happen, but now you guys got legs, you know, so that's what it's all about. So I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. You know, I did my first show in San Bernardino, the first couple out there, because I got a venue that was cooperative. That's another thing that's very hard. I mean, finding a venue is hard.
Yeah.
People are afraid of the sport. They're afraid of the liability. And that's another way the lawyer thing kind of helps. I explain to them, look, I have them sign releases. They know what they're getting into.
Sure.
Sort of a assumption of risk state,
Yeah. Outside of being in an Indian reservation kind of setting,
yeah.
It's almost impossible, right? You got to find the right venues.
Those are fun too, dude.
Well, yeah, I've seen Henry fight at those locations many times. We love that. King of the Cage.
Back in the day.
We drove out to Saboba.
Gladiator Challenge.
Yeah, Gladiator Challenge, absolutely. Good stuff. Henry, big fight coming up, buddy. I'm stoked. I'm excited. I think the buzz is around for everybody with you against Aaron Pico, dude.
Thank you so much, man. I'm looking forward to this one. Yeah, big one.
But every fight you've had in Bellator has been working towards this.
Yeah, just chipping away, dude. Just trying to get to the top, man. And just, here we are.
Yeah, I just, it's really cool to be here. There's like a buzz in the air. There's electricity in the air. It feels like, when you're at the fights in Vegas,
Yeah.
You're home now. I know you have another home in Arizona, but you're here.
Oh, dude, it's exciting stuff. It's everything I worked for, so, I'm super grateful for the opportunity, and the only way to show gratitude for shit like this is just to put in that work and just keep grinding, It's the only way I could, prove myself, and I'm looking forward to it.
You're an interesting guy. Just when I think I know something about Henry Corrales, I learn something new, and I know you read a lot of books. It's something that you don't hear a lot of fighters reading a lot, but I don't know where you get all that inspiration or where you find that, but,
Well, just being dumb.
Well, we all want to learn, yeah.
Not knowing much stuff, so, I got to read. So, yeah, and just, I slacked off majorly in the first part of my life, dude. I was just chasing novelty and just, wanting to have a good old time with the boys, dude, chasing puss, drinking a little bit too much.
Living it.
And so, fucking, the martial arts just, I came from the dark arts to the martial arts, and then now the martial arts is just it's just turned my whole life around, dude. You always hear fighters say that, and, now I know what that means in this journey of, it's been like, I started late, I started training at like 23 or 24 or something, so, and my life hasn't been the same since, dude. Like, I haven't been in jail since, and I've just, I'm a high school dropout, dude, and when I got my GED a couple years ago, I'm all fucking proud of that, and, that's all because of martial arts. I learned discipline through the sport, and it's just been incredible.
I believe it because, of course I follow you. I love everything that you do, but, man, I see you hiking out there in those hills. I see the sunsets in the background.
Yeah.
You're living it. I mean, it seems
dude,
like this very spiritually based fighter that I just didn't know existed within you.
Dude, I even got like a mind body coach. She's a yogi, and she like puts me through yoga stretches and like guided meditations.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's pretty cool. And I would have never been open to that shit. I'd be like, oh, dude, that's fucking gay, dude.
Yeah. Give me a
Stretch, bro. I'll fucking flip this tire, dude. Fuck that. But now, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of helped me out with that. So.
And you've traveled quite a bit. I mean, I've seen you at different places around the world. So I guess life kind of opened up to you.
Yeah.
I think China was even one of the places you were at.
Dude, China. I went to Brazil for like 4 weeks with Juliano Prado. And I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, this is so cool. Like, yeah, it's just a trip, man. Like, the only thing, before martial arts that it would end me up is in just some trouble, or some good times sometimes, but, mostly troubles and some headaches for my family. So, yeah, just grateful, dude.
Yeah, no, I sense that, and that's why I wanted to talk about some of those other things, because the fighter's background, it's one that we're familiar with. It's something that you kind of expect, but then you've grown into this other person, and it just seems with every fight you've got to a whole other level, you know, as a fighter. It's just kind of amazing. I personally always thought you were great. I didn't know you could get that much better incrementally every time.
Yeah. One of the things was, I started off here at JLO Jiu-Jitsu with John DeLo and, Thomas Kenny and Frank Park and those guys. And they laid a foundation, of skill sets for me that carried on to go train with some of the best people in the world, dude, at the MMA lab and compete with some of the best people in the world. So, Yeah, it's just been great, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's been exciting to follow. You ever get out to Arizona and check these guys out at MMA Lab?
I haven't. I've been to Arizona, but I haven't been to the MMA lab. But I'm aware of who Aaron Pico is for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
That's going to be an exciting fight. Sounds like two fast rising prospects about to face off, which I can appreciate.
Rival neighborhoods, man. Right?
And,
It's crosstown neighborhoods. La Mirada, Whittier, you know
Just,
what I mean?
just a little different generation.
He's a little,
Yeah,
he's a
so-
little younger. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
we don't even know the same people or anything, dude. So it's like completely different worlds.
Yeah, their paths are very different. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild, but exciting to see it come to this. And gosh, there's so many good fights on that card too, man. It's just an exciting card to be a
Dude,
part
stacked.
of.
I know I'm fighting on Fedor's headlining another card that I'm fighting on. I just fought in October and he was there, so that was kind of surreal. Him and my teammate Benson Henderson. So yeah, I was blown away by that experience too. So.
Guys that we've watched for so many years, and then you step into the room, and yeah, I can't even imagine the pressure. You know.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just posted a couple days ago, 1 year ago on the 20th, took out Georgie.
Yes, this is my third year in a row fighting at that venue, same time, same location. It's
That's kind of wild. So at the Forum,
the Forum.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, and that in itself, for anybody involved in fighting, it just being home at the Forum,
Dude,
right?
it's so
That's
cool.
our Madison Square Garden, right?
I love
for LA.
I love traveling and fighting people in other places for money, but you know, fighting in front of some familiar faces is always super cool.
It's got to be unreal, especially at a venue like that. Producer Robert's got some questions for us.
Just want to know what it was like in the Andy Main fight when you, like, because I saw it. I've seen the clips millions of times where you just kept your eyes on him and you saw him come back up and you're like, oh, it's right there, bang. You clip him with that left. And
Dude, that guy was tough, dude. He's never been finished in his career. He had like 16, 17 fights or something, and dude, he's like 6 feet tall, 74-inch reach, southpaw. I was just like, dude, you know, just chipping away at him for 3 rounds, and you know, I'm glad I got to finish. Just stayed on him.
It was a really short hook too. It was just kind of like.
Yeah, it was short, sloppy, but you know, got the job done.
Yeah, it was like shit, because you just kept your eyes on him because he hit you with something too, right?
Yeah, we both landed, but I was fading away. Yeah, super on
Is that
textbook.
something that you and Eddie work on a lot, or?
Yeah, we always want to slip and rip on people. You know, get in that pocket and let's trade some shots.
Yeah, that's something that you're definitely known for is ready to mix it up. You know you're going to see it. When you see Henry fight, you know you're going to see a fight.
I like to fight, dude.
I guess so, man, because it is a war.
Hey, do you remember when he faced off that one fight at Long Beach Fight Night? It was like the two dudes wanted to kill each other. Who was it though? It was at Long Beach Fight Night, and you guys just like walked together for the stare down, and it was like, oh, dude, you got to separate these guys. They're gonna kill each other right now.
Dude, me and that guy. There was a couple guys there, but me and my buddy Max Siniceros, we're super good friends now. We fought on the car and we fucking hated each other. Dude, we both walked away like, fuck that guy. So yeah, but we're all cool now. We're still buddies. He calls me all the time.
That's pretty awesome how that comes
you
together.
We work
trained there,
together.
right?
Yeah,
you trained there once.
Yeah, he comes
rolled
here all
it.
the time. He'd always be with me.
That's cool, man. What's up with your boy Vince? Where's Baki at?
Dude,
Where's the crew?
I just hung out with Baki the other day. We went hiking and stuff, just a little active rest on some downtime. And yeah, Vince just bought a house.
Oh,
he's
he
doing
moved out to
good.
Corona or something.
Yeah,
right?
he has like fucking 10 kids, and he's just living the American dream, man.
Yep.
Everything I'm fighting for, dude.
That's the Polynesian way. 10 kids, right? And then the house.
10 kids, dang.
Robert's got 3.
So tell us about active recovery.
Yeah, for me, dude, it's been crucial for me, dude, in my career. Because before I would think like, dude, if I'm not training, I got to be laying down and I got to be resting, dude. You know, I need rest. And for me, the best recovery for me is just going on some little hikes, dude. You know, on Sunday, getting some fresh air. You know, letting Mother Nature kiss me a little bit. You know, the shirt off, just relaxing, dude, enjoying it with some dudes. You know, my boys, and just fucking bullshitting and just hanging out, just super release. You know.
I remember
Releasing tension, you're setting intention for the week, and it's been big for me.
How about that the dieting? I heard you saying something about like I don't know if it was paleo exactly, but cutting out a lot of the other stuff, and then the inflammation started going down and all that kind of stuff you're talking about.
Yeah, that was big too. Just not getting so fat in between fights, and just keeping unnecessary carbs down. You know, just trying to keep them around training and stuff, and not going so hard on them.
That's heavy. I had no idea about that. I thought because you train so hard, I thought you could just eat everything that you want, anytime that you want.
Fuck, dude, not at
You're
featherweight.
A machine.
Yeah, not at featherweight.
No.
I gotta stay on top of it. I don't have trouble making the weight, but if I'm super aware and conscious of what I put in my mouth and stuff, then it's all good.
Yeah.
What's your if you don't mind me
No,
asking,
keep
what's your
going.
reprieve? Like when you want to eat something awesome, you're like, man, I want to enjoy myself. What is it you go for?
It's so funny because I eat good throughout camp. Like I had steak earlier, so I'm eating good, dude. I'm eating like steaks and good meals. But dude, after the fight, like I go off the deep end, dude. Like I want to eat like the worst shit for like that week or two, like McDonald's, like not even like good food. I'm like, dude, this is like really bad for me, but I want it, and I'll fucking do it. And like just glutton, dude. I just want to overdo it, That's like my outlet, because I don't like party or anything like that. So it's kind of like I gotta destroy myself somehow. So fucking supersize that bitch. Let's fucking party.
I like it.
That is cool. No, it's good to know that's behind you. Not so much completely, but you're on a different path, and it's definitely it's obvious to everyone that sees you that. You're on that uphill climb, and it's just amazing to have you in and be a part of that whole thing, because this is a big one, Go ahead, Robert.
Well, what did you weigh when we first started training? 200 over?
No way.
Yeah. When I first started training, like what was that, like 9 years ago? I was like 220. Yeah, I thought I was all fucking cool,
He was
dude.
strong as shit,
I was all
dude.
fucking swole, dude, with the big old fucking gut, and I was just fucking buff, I would drink and stuff and eat like shit, but I still thought I looked good, but dude, I'm just too top heavy for that type of physique.
No, but you could pick people up and just chuck them. I remember. It was just unreal. And I remember you beat Robert up so bad. I was in the car with him, and he goes, John, I'm all what? He's all, when somebody really gets you good, you're not supposed to feel it till the next day. I go, yeah. He's all, I feel it right now. Henry beat the crap out of me. I might have to go to the hospital. I think he was pissing blood for 2 days.
That was bad, bro. Two days straight, waking up like, dude, my head hurts. What the hell? Remember, it was in a small ring in Bruce's.
Dude,
it was one of your fight camps. It was just me, you, and
your
Krishna.
fight camps were brutal.
And
we used to have some scraps here.
And we're just slanging for like 7 rounds.
We got the boss in the house.
John Dillo.
John Dillo in the house. Not on the camera. Apparently not.
What were you guys talking about?
Talking about Henry. He's got a fight coming up.
Just fighting
coming
stuff.
up from here.
I want to tell Henry thanks for taking care of his old trainer. I had to spend $65 to buy a ticket to that fight. Thanks a lot. Right? So don't say Henry doesn't forget where he came from. No, but we'll see you there. I mean, I'm sure I'm not gonna get a chance to talk to you, but me and the girl have the tickets to the show. We'll be there.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
We look forward to that.
So I just want to wish you good luck. It's a long way from that cash register at the Albertsons where I met you. So it's good to see, and I'm glad I'm glad that things have really turned around for you. I mean, I could do a whole show on Henry's follies, as it were. But good luck, and go get him.
Thank you.
That's awesome. I didn't expect that. That's John Dello, our instructor, and he's always a man of some good words of confidence, and sometimes funny words as well.
Oh, he's a man, dude.
Keeps me going, you know what I mean? But again, I got Henry Corrales, I got George Francis. Robert's got some news from people that are watching the show.
T10 Ross says, who will have the better left hand?
Oh.
One of the guests asked who's got that better.
We're gonna find out, dude. That's what Saturday's for.
Tune in.
I am left-handed. They're not asking me.
George Francis is going to throw a left for us.
Okay, Rubens Renteria said, you got this, cousin. Sorry I can't be there. So disappointed. But count on me cheering you on.
It's all good. Make that money, primo.
Oh, she says grandma's cooking.
Grandma's cooking. I'll be over with Henry. He's watching it this week.
That's what I look forward to. Just some like home cooking, dude.
Oh,
yeah, just some.
Like what?
Dude, just Mexican. My parents are from Mexico, so I eat some super legit, real Mexican
real
food.
deal. I like
some
it.
homemade salsas. Just it's the good shit.
You got good food out there in Arizona, though.
It's cool, yeah, dude. I was surprised when I went out there. It's kind of just like here, except it's super hot. There's no beach.
All those things.
A couple of things, but yeah, it's kind of like it, dude.
But you made it home, so you like it.
Oh, dude, I would, and for the longest time, I just stopped. I would come back every weekend and tend the bar, my buddy's bar at Commissary Lounge in Costa Mesa, with Andrew Lee out there, and I'd be coming back and just, tending bar for the weekend, just make just enough money to go back for gas and enough food for the week, and then, just grinding.
That's a grind, dude. A 6-hour drive to make a few bucks to get back to go hit MMA lab and train with the best. That's kind of amazing that you do that. I have to ask you, what do you do outside of MMA? Because I know you're such a focused guy, and I know what your history was. You're a partying animal, but now, what is it? I mean, I know you train so hard at MMA lab. What other things do you do that people probably don't know?
We were talking about earlier, I like to read a lot. I just bought a house, dude, so I've been spending a lot of time there.
Buying homes is no joke, bro. That's amazing.
Yeah, it kind of keeps me home because I'm too broke to do anything.
Yeah.
And then just hanging out with friends, luckily, like, dude, training, it's like, even if I'm tired or whatever, I want to go to the gym to see these fucking guys. They're fucking cool, they're funny, and they're, we're just having a good old time. It's like recess, And so it's just really cool.
That's the way it should be. I really believe that. If you find your home and you're able to train at that level, it should feel like recess.
Sick. Dude, the martial arts brotherhood is real, dude. You guys know about that. It's fucking tight.
Yeah, it's like a boys club.
Yeah. Everybody's complaining about their broads and fucking their responsibilities and everything, and just fucking.
I know. I go and train. And I spend an hour or 2 hours afterwards. We're just like talking. And
what do you guys want to eat after? What are you eating? So
exactly. No, that's so true. And oftentimes I meet wrestlers and stuff from high school, and they haven't been able to train in anything. They find jiu-jitsu and they're like, dude, I haven't had anything close to this since high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're lacking that.
Yeah.
And not to mention all that camaraderie that goes along with it afterwards.
Oh, people love it, yeah.
Right? I think that's what makes it grow. That's why it's on every corner you can find a dojo of some sort.
Yeah, for sure.
It wasn't always that way, and now it's all over.
It's highly recommended. You need that physical exertion output as a human being. I think and martial arts is definitely a good way.
I think especially as you get older, you like get married and you have a family and stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Because sometimes I feel like I'm gonna lose my damn mind if I don't get out the house and do something.
Yeah. Hell, you'd be like me on the second time around. This is the best thing in the world for me. Gotta be careful with all that stuff. It's poison. I've already done it.
That necessary evil, baby.
Right.
Dean Bolzano says...
that's my Six Sigma Fitness, dude. That guy's a genius.
He said you're a scholar, a warrior, and a good man.
Yeah, that guy helps me out. He's like a little mad scientist, dude. He helps me out with all like my nutrition and stuff. He hooked me up like on an HRV and all this stuff, the heart rate variability thing.
Cool.
And he helps, dude. I just texted him the other day like, hey, about little questions about fight week, and he's just on it, dude. Like he'll send me an answer with articles and this and that, and I'll skim through it. And I'm like, all right, cool, thanks. So he's always in my corner, dude, helping me out. Love that guy.
Okay, cool. Well, the good part is like we got George here, and about both of you, you of course you had to start in the amateurs and work your way up, but that was really what, 1 fight, 2 fights?
Yeah, I did one like a gym fight. I went to some gym and fought some dude, and I was like, fuck this, I'm not doing it for free. And I was like, can I turn pro, please? And then John's like, all right.
Yeah.
And so
where was that? Pro. Ken Rose's out in Ventura?
Yeah. I showed up like walking around at like 155, and I fought somebody like 175. So
coming from like both your standpoints, how would you, George, if you had like fighters, you already have them. You already have them that you see potential in going up. Oh, yeah. How do you promote them and push them to get to the level where Henry's at?
Well, me, and it doesn't sound like much, but I actually record all the fights. The guy who edits my fights and puts them up on YouTube, he's brilliant. His name is Vahan. He actually edits for the UFC. Like, they're always contracting him out. He's incredible. And then I hire a couple professional photographers to sort of, obviously, get all the pictures and everything of the fighters. Because if they don't have anything to share and they don't have anything to show pro promotions and other people, then, I mean, how are people even going to know they exist? You know what I mean? So as far as promoting, my whole mission was to kind of really focus on the media. Because if I put together good fights, which, I do inherently. I try to match guys evenly. They're going to come out and fight. You know, the promoter doesn't really have control over whether the fighters are going to come out and perform. They've got to perform. But what I can do is I can put them out there. And my thing is I do interviews on the channel twice a week. I have professional photographers take hundreds of pictures of the fighters, and they have access to them. They're free. You know, share your pictures. I take the horse to the water, and if it wants a drink, by all means, you know. And we even used to do a highlight of every single fight, aside from the entire fight being recorded, but that just became a bit burdensome. So now we kind of incorporate the highlight into the fight itself. But yeah, I mean, every fighter that competes, they're going to get a full-fledged video. It's going to be real nice looking. Like I said, Vahan, he edits for the UFC, and I do my best by these kids. That's the way I put them out there, you know.
That's awesome. Fighters need that for sure.
And you know, another thing that I do, and I mean, it seems silly. I feel like every promoter should do this. You know, I don't feel like I'm doing anything special here, but really, if you look around at the other amateur promotions, I feel like I'm the only one that does it. I put a microphone in front of their face whenever I get a chance. After the fight, you're getting interviewed in the ring by the ring announcer, Joshua Shibata, who Adam introduced me to. If Joshua's not there, you're getting interviewed by, by someone else. I got this young kid now, Ivan Calderon, who's going to be going around interviewing the fighters too. You got to put a microphone in front of them, because they're not only going to have to learn how to fight, they're going to have to learn how to market themselves. If they can't market themselves, if they're not on social media, that's more than 50% of the battle now.
That's huge.
You got guys with no talent, making all the money and getting all the big fights because they can market themselves.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a weird balance, because it's like, it's fighting and it's an art, you know, and it should be taken super serious, but at the same time, it's entertainment too. So you kind of want to see those loudmouths get smashed, and you know, they sell tickets and stuff. So
and if I can briefly add this to the conversation, it's a business at the end of the day.
yeah,
I can be as nice as anybody, you know, and I'm always doing my best by the fighters. But if the guy comes on the card, I'm just going to let you guys into the life of a promoter briefly. We got to pay per fight. We got to pay insurance per fight. We got to pay officials per fight. We got to pay the sanctioning body separately per fight, not just the officials. The body itself has to be paid. If you're coming in and you're not doing anything to market yourself and you're not selling a single ticket, I'm bringing you on to lose money. And it just... I don't enforce a ticket minimum. I don't believe in that. I believe in trying to encourage guys and teach them and educate them. Look, if you don't do this, this is the result at the end of the day. But you know, we have to also keep in mind that it's a business, and if a guy can't sell a single ticket and a guy can't market himself, he's compromising himself. He's compromising the sport. He's compromising the promotion. As sad as it sounds, especially here in California.
Yeah, it's the toughest place to do business, right?
You know, it is. And it's weird because we have more talent than anywhere. We have more talent than anywhere on earth, if you ask me, per square inch. I'll include Arizona. But, you know, you're from California.
Yeah.
We got the best fighters here in the world. And it's such a struggle. It's such a struggle, you know, to get guys to market themselves, sometimes to get guys to show up. To get people to show up and put these events together, it's a real struggle. And then we pay so much more than other commissions here. We pay a lot.
it's brutal.
It is brutal. It's a tough business to be in. But if you got the love for it and enough heart to stick it out, get successful. Fighters Rep is coming up, so it's a great show. So definitely get out and see it. We got Adam Woods in the house. He's not on camera, but I know he's got a list of questions for both George and Henry, because that's how Adam operates.
And then we got
Oh, and we got Miguelito Perez. He's got to sit next to Henry, so I am going to change spots with him when he comes in.
No. So, Henry, you and Aaron Pico are essentially from Whittier. Had you heard about him prior to the kind of pomp and circumstance that he got with Bellator?
No.
You hadn't heard of him at all?
No, but now I have.
Yeah. This might as well be like the Battle of Whittier, like the unofficial Battle of Whittier. Of course, it's going down in England at the Forum, but I mean, this is like almost the Crown Sons of Whittier kind of going at it, you know, for the crown, essentially.
Yeah,
you know?
that's one way to put it for sure.
Absolutely.
And you know,
we know about Pico's wrestling ability. Without divulging too much of your game plan, what have you done to kind of neutralize? I mean, is that something that you kind of played into in your camp?
Yeah, for sure. You know, he has some serious credentials. You know, hands and wrestling. So we're definitely we knew that going in. So we're covering all aspects, dude, for sure. Especially at this level, you know what I mean? Like, fuck, that guy's a stud, but they all these guys are savages, you know. So we're always in there, and luckily I'm at a good gym with. Dude, that place is just flooded with savages on the mats, dude. That place is it's a stacked team, dude. So we definitely got my hands full there too.
Yeah, they're world class killers there. So
yeah, and everybody at the MMA lab is they're transplants, dude. They're like wrestler from this state and that state. Everybody goes there from a different place to like chase this little dream. So
and I'd just like to add, you're both from Whittier.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the level of talent we have here. You know, we were just talking about that.
Yeah,
it's outrageous.
Southern California, especially, dude, saturated.
It's really kind of nuts. Now, obviously, I mean, kind of being an LA homegrown fighter in person, the Forum is arguably the most historic venue that we have in SoCal. What does that mean to you? Had you been to the Forum for any concerts or sporting events prior?
Yeah, back in the day, my uncles would take me to a couple games and stuff. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, this is my third year in a row fighting there, and it's just like, dude, it gets better each time. So it's pretty cool. It's not getting old for sure.
Hell no, I went there as a kid, man. I saw Motley Crue there when I was 13.
There you go.
I love that place. I saw Henry fight there last January. I love that place. You know, when your homies are up there slugging it out and winning fights in a place you watch concerts, unreal. It's a good life we live. You know? And we got Miguel Perez, who's going to jump on here barefoot because you can't see your feet on this show. But I want you to come up here and sit next to Henry.
Please, don't worry about it.
All right.
I got
All
a
right.
few in here. David Arvello, my homeboy George Francis, is going to take over the game in Southern California.
Woo!
Okay,
Nice.
210 Ross. He goes, Henry, do you plan on pushing the pace against Pico? Test cardio since he has early finishes. You have been through wars.
That's for sure for Henry.
Yeah, well, I was saying earlier, I'm going in prepared, conditioned, and ready to fight.
I just want to mention real quick as well that David Arvello knows what time it is. He's with Sucker Punch Entertainment. They've got upwards of 50 guys in the UFC, I think.
Yeah.
So he sees the talent that I see out here, and he's actually flown out here for a Fighters Rep event. So much love to
Nice.
David Arvello, who is living in Virginia and willing to come out here to scout talent.
Yeah, that's quite a drive to actually get out here and, push and find and develop people.
He doesn't mind the food either.
Yeah, no.
We just eat
Can't find a
tacos the whole
taqueria.
time.
Yeah, you can't find a taqueria in Virginia. It's the first thing I miss. You know it. And Adam, did you got the mic? Did you have another question?
That's one way to put it, Donda.
I wasn't sure.
Come on,
I
Adam.
know you're in. You were going to be on camera. We decided to take both guys on because we were all here. So
All that
that's
big
how we
head.
do it. Ain't nobody going to be waiting around.
Taking both guys on, it sounds like typical Donda's
That's
Tuesday
right.
night.
Hey,
Right on.
if
10
I can
points.
do it, I do it. Whatever way we need to get down. Oh, it's all good, Mr. Woods. All right. But, getting back to it. Again, we got Henry Corrales. We got George Francis in the house. If you got questions, go ahead and shoot them over to Robert, our producer. Whether it be on Facebook or YouTube, he's checking all that stuff out right now. Henry's got the big fight on Saturday. Saturday at the Forum. We've been talking about that. George has an up-and-coming event at
at the Ames Sportsplex, Seal Beach,
that's
February
right.
2nd.
That's right here across from Affliction.
Yep.
Seal Beach. I did know about that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be back out at Sportsman's Lodge, but it's going to be here, practically in our neighborhood. So that's going to be a cool
All
one to see.
striking. I've
Nice.
got a bunch of MMA guys, a bunch of Muay Thai guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of buzz
kickboxers.
about it, man.
So they're gonna stand and bang, and it's exciting. I'm excited about it.
And that's the first time at that venue. I think you're the first event there.
I am.
That's huge.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. It's a
I
big
didn't know
venue.
we were going to bring fights to Seal Beach, but I'm stoked about it.
I'm glad. I hope to see you guys there.
Hell yeah, we're coming. That's for sure.
We're gonna have Micheladas there.
Oh,
Suprema
We'll have them in the
Mix is
parking lot.
sponsoring.
We'll have them inside. You know it. Do you know who the headliner fight's going to be?
So it's gonna be Dane Turney against Jose Alcocer. They're two young studs, man. A pair of beasts in Muay Thai. Basically, it's the only title fight on the card, despite there being 23. I have 23 fights booked right now. And for me, that's an indication that there's a lot of interest in the striking.
Yeah, 23 matches is a good number of people to come out.
And I overbook because guys flake out, especially in the amateurs. But two young studs, man. You're going to see guys from the best camps in the world. When I talk about California having the best camps, you also got included in the world. I mean, because some of the best guys train here. Black House has got 4 or 5 kids on there. Chad George's got a bunch of kids on there. Rafael Cordero at King's MMA's got some kids on there. So.
Yeah, the guys out of Chad's camp, man, they're gnarly.
Good guys, yeah.
That's where I seen you over there a few times.
Yeah, and they cross train. Josh Barnett goes out there. You got CSW, a bunch of beasts over there. It's just going to be a stacked card.
Right on.
Nice.
And I really hope everybody comes out to support these young fighters because these kids are the future, man. These kids are beasts.
And I hear something about Josh Barnett doing blood sport for wrestling. What is this? You guys hear about that in New Jersey? You're the wrestling guys. That's why I bring it up. He brings up Josh.
This is the first I'm hearing about it.
Yeah? Well, look it up. Get on the internet. Check that out.
Yeah.
Something's going on out in Jersey with that guy.
But actually, since I'd be remiss not to speak about Josh Barnett as it relates to Fighters Rep 5, we might actually have in a striking battle. Actually, this is guaranteed. We've got the UWFI USA's team of Josh Barnett. He's got one of a charge against his former home in CSW. So we've got a CSW guy against a UWFI USA guy in striking. So it's going to be insane. Obviously, both camps are known for their catch wrestling acumen or whatever, but to test them in striking, that's what you're going to see. I mean, that's a small tidbit of what you're going to see at Fighters Rep 5. So I'm excited. This is crazy.
And I'm chomping at the bit. I mean, I've got these camps known for wrestling and catch wrestling and jiu-jitsu. I piqued their interest enough to get them to come out and fight in striking events. It's just I'm thrilled about it.
Yeah.
And I'm honored. I mean, it's a real honor. I mean, I've got a guy from Team Quest. Sam Alvey a year ago when I told him, "Hey, would you send me a guy for a striking event?" We're not really into that stuff. We're sticking to MMA. And with time, he was convinced. He's sending me a kid, and I'm really, really happy about it.
That's really cool, man. I like that. Getting back to Henry, there's another question I have. People often describe fighters, and they do so because of what little we know, because we see where you come from, maybe what you've done in previous fights. But how do you personally describe yourself as a fighter?
I don't know, dude. I'm a pretty basic fighter. I show up and I fight whoever, whenever, and I actually fight. I don't try to win on points and stuff. And, it's hard to explain yourself.
No, I know it is, but I think that's pretty accurate, and not scared to stand in the pocket. You're always right there, just ready to go.
Yeah, out of my 16 wins, I think 12 of them are finishes. So.
Yep, absolutely.
Are you more of a wrestler, would you say, a striker, just all?
Yeah, my first 5 wins were submissions when I was training here with John, and then lately I've just been just trying to stand up with everybody.
I always felt like Henry always had the power to knock the guy out, but then knew that he'd softened him up so much, just put him out with a submission. I always just was waiting. I was like, I didn't know which way he was going to go.
Yeah, submissions opened up, and I'll jump on them too.
Yeah, I knew you could do both, so I was like, whoa. You just finish them. Got a question, Miguel?
Yeah, first of all, I'm sorry for my tardiness, gentlemen. I apologize.
That's okay. By the looks of your face, it looks like you were doing some boxing.
Yeah, it's trying to work out as much as I can. But anyways, enough about me. How you been, dude?
What's
Henry,
up, dude? Good, man. Good to see you guys.
It's good to see you,
Good
dude.
to be back home.
For sure, man. I actually wanted to ask, so have you officially relocated to AZ, or are you still staying out here?
No, I bought a house.
Nice.
Yeah, and I've been staying I've had an apartment in the past, but I was going back and forth because I had to come back and work a little bit on the weekends.
For sure.
I had worked at a commissary lounge or bar down here.
Yeah.
So I'd come back and work and try to make a little bit of money to get by.
But you officially, you bought a pad out there, so that's where you're at.
Yeah. But I still, dude, it's only a 5-hour drive, so I come back all the time as much as I can. I don't have no kids or anything, so.
Yeah.
Made it
Hey, we're heading
$4.
out there for spring training. We'll see you.
Oh, hell yeah. Nice. Stop by.
Dodgers.
You got a
Man,
place to stay.
For sure, dude. How you feeling, dude?
I feel great, dude.
Yeah.
You know, all the necessary work has been put in, and it's time to get in there and get after it.
Nice, man. For sure.
Thank you.
For sure. Not to get too personal, but your folks still out here?
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't relocate them either?
No, I got to stay with my mom. She's thinking about it now because my sister's out there too.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Yeah, she works
sure.
at some prison out there, and then so
There's a lot of those.
I got to come out here and stay with my mom on Sunday and last night, and then so she's been really happy to see me and like
Cool,
me
man.
too.
For sure. How was training for this fight?
It's good, dude. You know, really good. Again, like all necessary work was put in, and
Yeah.
we went for it. We really pushed it all the way through. So
Cool,
we're
man.
ready.
For sure. It's good to see you, dude.
Thank
Seriously.
you, dude. Likewise, brother.
For sure.
It is, yeah. And when you see Henry at the weigh-ins, I'm like, oh my God, he's like they've turned him into like a superhuman Marvel.
I'm not gonna
superhero
lie,
guy,
dude. He
you
looks
know?
fucking humongous, like on TV
Right?
and shit.
Right?
Yeah.
I know, but I'm small, dude. I'm not that big.
I don't know what it is. TV adds 50 pounds to me, so it adds 10 to everybody else. You know? Yeah, incredible. Absolutely. Getting back to George then, Seal Beach.
Yes,
How did
sir.
you guys locate that venue to put on Fighters Rep?
It's a good area.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
how did you make that happen?
I've never heard of fights being there.
Never.
Yeah. You know, I did a fight in Linwood,
Okay.
and
That happens all the time.
yeah, but a sanctioned one.
Gotcha,
And
gotcha.
I've done them in San Bernardino. I did one at the Sportsman's Lodge out in Studio City, and I noticed that most of the fighters are between kind of LA and Orange County. You know, and I felt like Seal Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look around this area. I was looking at Long Beach, and I actually had a massive hotel chain that was interested.
Wow. I
Which I
probably
was
work
really
for that hotel chain.
Which I was really excited about. But unfortunately, I ran into the business killers that are the city of Long Beach.
Yeah.
And they want a boxing license, and they want you to pay just to apply. It's like a couple $1,000s.
Sure.
And then they might not approve it, and you won't get that money back.
No thanks.
And then once they do approve it, then it's a couple more $1,000s every year or something. So I was
Yikes.
just like, you know what? That city hates. Obviously, it hates the sport. Let me find somewhere. Seal Beach right next door.
Yeah.
I live in Pedro, so.
Perfect. Pedro's up and coming, man. It's all changing again.
Yeah, well,
You know?
it's hit or miss.
It's a different world now.
And he was supposed to have Fighters Rep in our building before.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we were looking at the possibility of doing it next level before they
Oh,
decided
yeah,
to
yeah.
bulldoze it.
Because I kind of work with them, consult with them,
Yeah,
because we
yeah.
had 3 offices upstairs, and then so like Juan and Jason Brennan, they're all
I
like,
see.
they always kind of go back and forth with me. And yes, hey, have you heard of George Francis? I'm like, yeah, I think Adam's friends with them. Yeah, he's cool, dude. And you know,
What happened? I wanted to do a show there.
yeah, I don't.
Are you allowed to
I
share
am
what
not.
happened?
Not
Okay.
on air.
I
We'll
see,
talk
I
afterwards.
see. Well, it's a shame, you know. It's such a struggle. Let me tell you, I'm
Struggle for
happy.
us, too.
I'm happy I found a venue,
Yeah.
much less a venue in Seal Beach. I mean, that's how hard it is. I'm telling you guys, it's very hard to pay the commissions and
Yeah.
the insurance and
Absolutely.
then have to pay a venue. It's
You're,
just
you're not the
tough.
first person I've heard say that. And, you know, John Dello was here earlier. He used to put on Long Beach Fight Night. They no longer do it because why do it, right?
It's insane.
They
It's
did it
insane.
enough, and then what's left? So who knows?
But you know, I've got a plan for it. It's going well, and I can't complain. You know, I got
Yeah.
a great team behind me. It's my family. It's like a tribe. You know, and
I like
and
that part of it,
it's-
right?
It's great.
I think that's what we all thrive on at the end of the day, you know?
So, and I see it skyrocket. I see it growing every day on social media and everything else. I'm really happy, and you know, it's a business where you give back. I mean, you give these fighters a chance to fight. Otherwise, a lot of these kids, who knows what they'd be doing if they didn't find martial arts, like Henry was talking about. You know, he went from the dark arts to the martial arts. He's not the only
That's
one.
a
Let me
quote,
tell you.
dude, for real. And,
Yeah.
and I know he means that. You know?
And let me tell you, a lot of the kids I've had on my cards mean that. You
Yeah.
know? So
Well, I know he does because,
I seen it.
yeah, we've seen a little bit of that. Absolutely. Living the dream, though. That's all I got to say about it because, you know, I come in the game as an old man, you know, just doing my thing, staying in shape, doing the best I can, trying to stay in shape, I should say. And then you meet a young man like Henry, and he catapults himself beyond the regular norms of the people that get out, that even give it a shot, you know.
no.
everybody wants to give it a shot, but then he's just a phenom because he's finishing people, with submissions, and he wasn't a wrestler or a jiu-jitsu guy. I know he had hands when he came here, so it's amazing to see how that all changes. And now that's another question: is now that you're at MMA Lab, you are already a high-level fighter. How has that game changed within you, being at that kind of a venue where there's world-class killers? I mean, those guys are just snipers there.
Dude, yeah, it's a great place, man. You show up every single day. It's physically impossible not to get better.
Yeah.
And that's just the thing. You just show up, and do your best, have as much fun as you can, and just go after it.
Is there an emphasis at that level really to mentally prepare yourself too? Because, when you start out, you're at whatever dojo or gym that you're at, and you're slugging it out, and you're developing, and you're young, and you can take it. But then you get to a certain age where mentally there has to be that fortitude. It's not just heart anymore. It's not just your technique, but you're getting on a whole different level. Because I see you perform, and it's almost like you're not thinking. Your body's just doing what it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
Thanks, dude.
No, I really mean that. But then I see the level of training partners that you have.
Yeah,
and that's unheard of.
What do your parents always say? You are who you surround yourself with. So I've been lucky enough to surround myself with some cool dudes, and it's been rubbing off on me.
That's really cool. Good. Yeah, no, and that's cool. That's a great testimony to all the guys out there.
Is there something like unorthodox that you do? Because I feel like at your level, it's like a game of inches. Everybody's so good, and any little advantage can mean a win or a loss. So is there something that you do that you didn't used to do, but something you've added maybe to your to gain an advantage?
I'm not sure, dude.
You were talking about a yogi or something like that.
Yeah, I do some of that. I started meditating and stuff. That helps too. But it's just, at the end of the day, it's just kind of simple. You just show up and you just chip away and just keep trying to get better and try to evolve and just keep striving. And I think that's the biggest thing, is just not to get complacent and comfortable. And at a high level school like that, you get comfortable and lazy there, you get fucked up. So it's, again, like I said earlier, it's impossible not to get better there.
Are we gonna switch out? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, we're gonna run a clip for Henry sponsors Turp House real quick.
Do it,
and then we'll do a switch out with Adam.
Okay, we're gonna switch out. Adam is gonna finish up the show. Henry's gonna go use the restroom, and we're gonna show you the Turp House right now.
It's just a great product. I think that we're getting into some new level of medication. I remember when I was first getting into this sport, I would have a lot of pain. Every fighter's in pain. So thank God that Brandon was able to come and give me this stuff. This is awesome, man.
Woods, what up, my bro?
Pain, minimal. Just the different things that we do with everyday life, it makes it so much more easier. It's wonderful ingredients. We're here to take away pain for many people, older people, younger people, whoever. Turp House versus everybody. Us versus the world. Us versus pain. We're fighting pain.
What's good, party people? This is, show 2 of 2 of Gym Crashers Live, and I'm here with the major domo of Fighters Rep, as we're getting into Fighters Rep 5, February 2nd in Seal Beach, California, the Honorable George Francis. What's going on, my brother?
Thank you, sir. Just getting ready for the fights, and this is, it's a good time. I'm excited about it, very positive, so... It's gonna be a hell of a show, man.
Yeah, hell of a show, hell of a deal. And obviously, if anybody that's been following your social media feed, you know that you guys just completed the open workouts at the UFC Gym La Mirada. I was lucky enough, thank you for the opportunity, to conduct some interviews with some of the guys. One is already up, and couple soon to follow, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
absolutely. Sir. But a big shout out to UFC Gym La Mirada.
Great
they
people.
They are incredible hosts. Yeah, that whole crew. Yeah.
Yeah, they're good people. Miriam over there is always hooking it up. You know, they love having us there. I mean, it helps us, it helps them, it helps the fighters, you know, and so it's a win-win for everybody. You know?
Absolutely. Big shout out to Miriam. And if you follow my social media feeds, I mean, why wouldn't you not? But she did this really cool thing and reserved an office at the UFC gym La Mirada for me to conduct the interviews. And I mean, that was really, really cool. So thank you, Miriam, as well as the GM there. James, man. Big Dog James, man. He got to shout him out. He actually signed me up for a free 3-month membership as well.
Nice.
What is the promotion that they're running?
Well, yeah, I mean, they were saying if you came to the Fighters Rep open workout or you liked and tagged and shared the post that we put on Instagram, you'd get a free, I think it was 21 days or a month membership at UFC Gym La Mirada. So I thought that was cool, you know, and it was kind of nice to have a place that was willing to have an open workout for these young fighters. You know, I felt like it's something nice to do for them and, again, to get them some publicity to promote them.
Absolutely. And we saw a former Fighters Rep champion won...
Khalid Benjamin.
Khalid Benjamin, yeah, purple belt, teaching jiu-jitsu classes. Yeah, man, that was cool.
Yeah, he's training with Gabby Garcia, and I wouldn't doubt if we see him within the next year fighting for Risen. I feel like he'll probably end up fighting with Risen, because you know he's got Gabby Garcia he's training with, and Yoko Hamamura is his coach. And I think that's the direction he's probably going to take them to, you know.
Not a bad fit. Not a bad fit.
Yeah.
Speaking of nice fits, I'd be remiss not to talk about the gentleman to my left, heading into the huge Bellator 214 card at the Fabulous Forum in Inglewood, California, my hometown. He's your boy, going in a war with Aaron Pico, Mr. Henry OK Corrales. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, dude. Thanks.
Dude, thank you. I know you're in fight week. Obviously, this is Tuesday. The fight's on Saturday, so we appreciate you sticking around, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
This is cool, man. So, okay. Obviously, 16-3 is not okay as a pro. It's pretty damn astronomical. So, how did the nickname come to be?
Well, we're here at Delo Jiu-Jitsu, and John Delo is. My pro debut. I was walking out, and the announcer was like, "Henry, OK Corrales," and I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Who's that?" And then I look back, and John's just like, he's all snickering. I was like, "Fucking John, he's a clown, dude. He's funny." And so, and then like a week later, we're like, "What's OK what?" And he's like, "OK Corral, like the gunfight, like,
oh my god."
And so that, and like, I'm always down. He's like, spar with these pro boxers, and I'm like, okay, like, flip these tires, okay, hey, roll with him, okay, and I'm game.
Dang, that's pretty cool, man.
That's a silly nickname, dude, but you don't nickname yourself, and it's just like it's stuck. So I was like,
it's stuck.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like what Dondo did for me 2 weeks ago. He called me the Fijian Freak Show. So I guess that's it. I was calling myself the Fijian Bulldog, or according to Woods, but Dondo took it away. So I like it. That might even be a shirt. So get your merch.
Underwear for sure.
Damn right.
Sorry to interrupt. Before Iridium Sports, Jason House, and Jason and Jacob Parker kills me, I got to get Henry out of here.
Okay.
So we'll let Henry shout out whatever he needs to do, and we'll let him bounce.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check in this hotel for fight week, and thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Fighters need exposure, and you guys are doing it. So we appreciate you guys, and just check me out. Follow the journey into the cage on my Instagram at Henry Corrales MMA. Thanks for having me, guys.
Dang right. And again, Bellator 214 going down this Saturday at the Fabulous Forum. And if you guys can't be there live, you can definitely check it out on the Paramount Network.
Nice meeting you, dude.
The Paramount Network, or DAZN, which is taking the mixed martial arts world by storm, man. So, dang it. So, George Francis, man. So, I'm gonna get a little bit into the background and the je ne sais quoi of the man, the myth, the legend, because obviously,
That's not me. Come on.
hey, I mean, if it don't let the truth get in the way of a good story, right?
Yeah.
But obviously, we first met way back at MMA Events Inc. I had done a couple of videos with Bosun Wang for them, and you were the prestigious ring announcer for that first show.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and to kind of see where everybody's kind of landed after that. Shout out to MMA Events Inc. This past Saturday.
Big shout out to
They've held the first MMA show in Belize.
Battle in Belize.
Yeah, the country of Belize.
That is cool, right?
Yeah,
Hey, we're flying out next time they do that, right?
Yeah, I
This
wanna
is
go
the
to
crew.
Belize.
We're on the
This
same
is it.
plane,
I want to
This
go
is
to
it.
Belize,
right?
bro.
Yeah.
Drinking
That's
out of
it.
coconuts and pineapples
And rum the whole way
with the
there.
Fijian Freak Show.
Exactly. I don't know anything about any rum or coconuts or anything like that.
Hell no.
I may
You
be
weren't
lying.
raised on that.
I may be lying there.
You won't fit in Belize at all. They don't look just like you there.
No. Exactly. The Fijian national rugby or football team.
They might think you're the president.
You know what? This might be a takeover. You heard it here, folks.
That's right.
Whenever the next Olympics is, or not Olympics, the election. There you go. Because
Yeah.
I get those two confused.
Yep.
But I guess I'm running. So
I like it.
there you go.
You're born to run, baby.
Yeah, man. Speaking of somebody who's born to run, actually, he's been sitting for the last hour. The prestigious Dondo, John Arredondo.
I don't know how
as he's known.
prestigious, but I do sit in this chair quite a bit, and my ass is killing me.
Damn.
It's not made for cushion.
There you go. Hey, more cushion for the pushing,
Well,
I guess.
I do have my own
I
chair.
heard,
Yes,
I heard
bring
witch
my own.
hazel can help that.
Well, I'm gonna have to rub some of that in.
Who's Hazel? Did your Hazel
Never mind.
get rubbed on Dondo's
Well,
ass?
we got
Is
plenty
that
of-
Is that what's going on?
We got plenty of CBD partners
Who's
out there.
Hazel?
We're gonna have to use some of that.
Who's
Actually,
Hazel? And shout out to Terp House.
Terp House.
Because I'm sure they've got witch hazel.
That's right.
Somebody's hazel.
Miss Mary Jane's got it. Our Life CBD.
Damn
all
right.
those guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So shout out to our sponsors there.
Yep.
And shout out to Event TV Global.
Right there in front of the table. That's our station. We are Event TV Global. Shout out to
Nice.
Albert Jarzabek, Celtic Gladiator CEO and president, and the man who owns Event TV Global.
It's here too.
Right?
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, it is. It's right on
Yeah.
the mic.
I was just like, what is this big black thing that I'm speaking into?
That big black thing would happen to be the microphone that says Event TV Global.
10 points, 10 points. Big shout out to Joey the Bull Hinojosa, sitting off camera. Yo, what's going on?
I like that you know his full name, not just Joey full of bull.
I'm sorry, it's the government name. I know
Unbelievable.
things about the government that most people don't. Not as much as Eddie Bravo, but still, I guess.
Yeah, but we have George Francis in house, and not to be remiss about that, it's very important that
Damn
we
right.
uncover a little bit more.
Yeah.
I hear a little accent there. You're from somewhere back east.
Miami,
Miami.
bro.
Miami. Yeah.
Mijami,
Yes, right.
Mijami.
Mijami.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah,
So you grew up
305.
where? Everywhere.
Miami, born and raised in Miami.
Are you for real?
Yep, with Trick Daddy Dollars and Trina and the rest of them. Pitbull, shout out.
Yeah.
I don't know them personally. but,
Calle
you know,
Ocho?
Yeah, Calle Ocho.
There you
And
go.
I came out here because my wife's from San Pedro.
Right on.
She came out to Miami. We met there while she was on vacation. She fell in love with all this.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
And then I followed her out here.
Right on.
Yeah, dang right.
That's a hell of a story.
Yeah, man.
You know?
It looks like we've got,
No hurricanes out here.
I don't know.
No
Have you been to
earthquakes.
the bar?
No
There's
earthquakes
plenty
out
here.
there.
Yeah,
though,
that's
you
for
know?
sure. Yeah.
There's plenty.
There's a crazy dude that's in the chat room.
Yes, producer Robert.
He said, "Sup, yo." I think his name is Blake Troop.
Blake.
Oh,
Bulletproof
my
Troop.
God.
Don't know Blake Troop? Nah, that dude. I mean, apparently we just celebrated an anniversary. I know it's weird to say, but
You guys have a
2-year
bromance anniversary?
2-year anniversary of knowing that guy. It seems like longer, but I also met him at the MMA Events Inc. show as Fighters
Wait,
rep.
do you guys know the date that you met? Is that what you're celebrating?
No. But Facebook.
I see. I thought this was kind of
Yeah.
heavy that you guys were going for it from
We've
that
only been in
angle.
a crash. Not
You've
that
almost
type of-
died together, and now
Yeah.
I'm finding about other things.
Basically, we were in a crash, not in a smash. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
If Adam's hand wasn't cupping Troop's buttocks
yes,
during that accident,
Something-
we would have lost Troop.
I imagine.
Actually,
That's a joke, Troop.
What
Don't
happened
kill me,
was
brother.
Troop's dog, literally, upon impact,
Troop's-
I felt
Troop's
like
dog's
a
bigger than we
smack
are.
on the side of my head, and
It was in the car during the accident?
Yeah,
What?
absolutely.
I
yeah.
did not know
And
this.
it was like literally huevos, like on head, and then my head hit the window.
The dog's balls were in your head?
The
Yeah,
dog.
absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
The dog teabagged you?
Yeah, pretty much. And then I hit the glass window.
Wow.
So
So they were like goggles?
actually,
He's like, he
the
didn't-
glass
I can't
wasn't
see.
the hardest thing that I hit that night. So
My
how about
goodness.
that? 10
Dang.
points.
I'm learning more about this accident. Poor
We also have someone who should be here but's not. Aaron Morrow.
Aaron
Whoa,
Morrow.
shout out to Aaron. Shout out to Rob Samo too, man.
Yeah, Rob
Fanboy
Samo, hey,
Nation.
yeah.
You guys should be here.
Troop said it's called a tiger bag.
Tag or bag?
Tiger bag. Because it's Tiger Dog.
Tiger dog.
Whoa.
Tiger
It's
bag
Tiger
and
Dog?
me.
I've never
Okay.
been tiger bagged.
That's why I have the stripes on my neck. Anyway.
I thought that was like the Bruce Lee movie.
Wow.
Adam,
10
you would know.
points.
You're one of the only people that would know this. Is Tiger Dog neutered? Spaded? Or whatever
I'm
they call
going.
it?
You know what? I'm going to plead the fifth.
Tiger
on this
Woods?
one.
Tiger Woods is neutered?
Tiger Dog Woods.
Oh.
Holy shit! I like what you did there. Fuck yeah, that was clever, man.
He's
Well, I don't know
definitely
about
not.
all that,
He's
but-
definitely not.
No. Never mind. Anywho, so growing up in Florida, George,
Yeah.
what got you involved in the fight game? Like, what was there a particular fight or boxing match, even pro wrestling match that might have got you involved in anything contested in a ring?
100,000
Age?
Brazilians that move there?
10 points there, yeah.
No, we're just violent down there, and I played sports my whole life, and, people liked fighting down there, and I trained a little bit down there, boxing and Muay Thai, and I did a little pro wrestling down there even.
Oh,
Yeah, I did a little
What?
pro wrestling down
Pretty
there.
cool.
Norman Smiley and Rusty Brooks and these guys.
The legends.
Ooh,
Yeah,
holy crap.
Soul Man Alex G taught me how to wrestle for like a year or so. It was fun in college. And, just always into sports. And then I announced my first fight down there. I actually started with interviewing guys. And the first person I interviewed was Stacy McKinley, Mike Tyson's, I guess the coach that was with him the longest. Because he was like right next to my house. I was living in Deerfield Beach, which is right next to ATT, Coconut Creek,
Yeah.
and all these gyms. And Stacy McKinley was right there. I was like, dang, I gotta do something here. So I interviewed him, and then eventually someone asked me to announce their show, and then I moved out here and decided to announce some more, and then start my own promotion.
Yeah.
Year and a half ago, not even.
Dang right. And I can attest to this. I mean, 4 straight sellouts, which is pretty unprecedented.
Thank you.
We've got heavy hitters when it comes to the Camo State sanctioned MMA scene. I mean, we've got Epic down in San Diego. We've got up here promotions like Sparstar MMA.
Yeah.
But, I mean, to have 4 straight sellouts in your first foray into promoting, that's got to feel pretty good, right?
I think it's great, man. I think it's great. But, being in this now, I see, we've got problems, man. We've got problems. We've got problems as a fight community, and it needs to be developed desperately. And it's great to have shows like this to do that. It's great to have people like the both of you to do that.
We
Because
got to voice that stuff. People got to hear it,
Yeah,
we got to
it's-
make a difference.
It's terrifying.
Right?
So I always look at like Eddie Hearn out in the UK, you
Yeah.
know, Matchroom. I really admire Eddie Hearn, although a lot of people think he's like slick or whatever. Their population, I mean, it's significantly larger than California's, but nothing crazy, you know. And I think our economy kind of like rivals theirs. You
Sure.
know what I mean?
Yeah, California's huge.
I mean, they're out there filling out 90,000 person soccer stadiums
Yep.
for a boxing match.
Yep.
and we can't even fill the forum out.
It's crazy.
You know, we're more than, I mean, we're probably 2/3 of their population. So we should be able technically to fill a 60,000 person stadium. It's just there has not been that investment in the culture. There has not been that investment in the fight game. It's just not there. And
they're not building up the fighters so that people get excited, so that people buy the tickets, fill those seats, bring the whole family, believe in what they're seeing, right?
And so that's what I've made my personal goal.
I hope so, man.
And if you talk to Adam, I bother him all the time.
He bothers me all the time.
Yeah. I tell him, you know, let's go interview. I do interviews myself.
I love
it. Go interview that guy. Let's go talk to this guy.
He's relentless. Yeah, I love that about Adam.
Let's get people emotionally invested. In these fighters.
It's so important
because it's something to be a part of. It's fun, you know. It's a boys' club, like we were talking about. Being part of a gym, being part of a fight game should be that way as well.
Yeah, a testimony to Adam Woods was, I don't necessarily know every fighter out there, but he goes and interviews them, and then I have a reason to watch the fight and not go get a beer. I'm like, oh, I saw this guy, according to Woods, you know, talked about this thing, and now I want to watch him fight. It's true. It's a very small contribution. It winds up being like the snowball effect. I wind up, you know, just wanting to see more.
That's exactly the ideology that I had with my wife. So there's that.
The snowball effect?
Start off small and then snowball. Yes, absolutely. 10 points.
She's a wonderful woman, by the way. She lets him come here every Tuesday. Thank you very much, Mrs. Woods.
Hi, honey. But, so you mentioned Eddie Hearn. I'd be remiss because, I mean, I think you may be the only person that might have a positive thing to say with that guy. So what do you think about the Anthony Joshua situation in terms of, I mean, obviously we saw what happened with Tyson Fury, you know, and what have you. And it seems like Anthony Joshua is being kept out of, you know, kind of kept out of the scene and fighting top guys. Now, we heard, if you follow boxing, it's one of those deals where they say that Eddie Hearn offers them money, but it's like a lowball sum just so he can say and have that caveat that, oh, we offered him that fight, but it's like pennies on the dollar.
Well, I mean, I want to start out by saying I'm definitely not the only person that says positive things about Eddie Hearn. They made him promoter of the year or something like that. He's the one that also started this whole DAZN thing. So people are always going to be cynical about, any promoter, regardless of who it is. You know, Dana White gets a lot of crap. Yep. Oscar De La Hoya gets a lot. They're all getting pooped on, basically. But, you know, Eddie Hearn does do some slick stuff. You know, I'm not talking about his personality. You know, I don't know the guy. I mean, whatever. I'm talking about what he's doing in the game, right? When you've promoted your guy to the point where he doesn't need to come to America. He's built so much of a rabid fan base in the UK that's making so much money. He's filling soccer stadiums for Anthony Joshua to fight B-level guys.
Yeah.
So when you can fill up a 90,000 person soccer stadium for Anthony Joshua, who's fighting a B-level guy, what the hell do you need to come here to fight Deontay Wilder for, who couldn't fill up a 7,000-8,000 person stadium in his own Alabama before this Tyson Fury? I mean, it's an example of how whatever. I don't care about the guy's personality. I care about what he's been able to accomplish.
Sure.
If I could fill up an 80 or 90,000 person stadium here in Los Angeles, every person in this room would be paid.
Oh yeah.
Every person watching would be paid. These fighters would be happy.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
These camps would be happy. I would make everybody happy. And so my whole mission is to get us there. That's my mission. I'm just an amateur promotion right now. You know, I'm working with CXF as well and on their Pro-Am cards. I plan to eventually do my own Pro-Am cards as well. But you got to start somewhere, and you got to build the culture. It can't just be this take mentality.
Absolutely.
It's got to be a reinvestment back into the fighters. You got to create videos for them. You got to take pictures for them. You got to do things for them. A lot of these promoters, you can't even find the fighter's video on YouTube. Like, how are you supposed to, you know, unless you order it on pay-per-view, and most fights are not on pay-per-view, especially the local promotions, because it just doesn't make sense. you don't even have any kind of history or record of the fighter's fight, other than what it said on Camo or on the on SureDog or whatever it is, Tapology. You have to create a record for people to get behind these fighters. You gotta let people know who they are, interview them, talk to them. I'm going on and on here, but I just interviewed Chase Gibson. Do you guys know Chase Gibson?
Yeah. Former CXF champion.
Do you know Chase Gibson? Bless you. Do you know Chase Gibson's story?
Yeah, absolutely.
Chase Gibson's story. You can write a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and so many of these guys are like that. Bernie Hopalian.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Burn.
I mean,
with the Burn.
these guys came from
humble beginnings.
The depths of despair
absolutely.
to being incredibly successful, and there's nobody to relay that message, and I'm trying to do it, and I'm trying to get Adam to help me do it, and I'm trying to get these young kids now that are volunteering with me, like Ivan, to help me do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing to see Chase, what he's accomplished. Now he's a dad. These are
Yeah,
big
absolutely.
things, big milestones in his life, and still climbing that mountain.
And I'm sorry if I seem a little like crazy or passionate about it, but
No,
it drives me nuts because these are world-class athletes at this point.
Absolutely.
And for them, you play football, you play basketball, you play baseball, but you don't get as beat up as a fighter does.
Sure.
And for them not to have the same kind of thing to lean back on, the same money and fame and stuff, it's just not acceptable.
What a great place, though, at CMMA, where there are so many good training partners.
Yeah.
Chad really pushing those guys. That's what they're breeding them.
Yeah, to be honest, I just kind of go there because it's close to my house. It just happened to be the closest one to my house.
You got lucky, buddy.
But I did get lucky because Chad, man, Chad's
Dominic
a
Clark,
special person.
Right? You got Chad, you got Dominic, you got Chase.
Yeah.
You got a handful of guys there. Mike Hermosillo, man, those guys.
Yeah, Chad's a special person.
Yeah, man, he's got an energy about him that you just can't second guess. Absolutely.
And he's all in. He's all in. And that's the kind of people I want to deal with.
Yeah. Yep.
And I mean, we just mentioned some of the pros, but I mean, like David Acuna.
Yeah, the guys are homies.
Sachiro Sasaki. I mean, like there's like what's
all those guys are fighters.
Yeah, man, they're nuts. Taylor Alfaro, King David, man.
Yep.
Like,
Lou Schwenke.
Yeah,
he's going to be on my card. He's undefeated. He's 5-0. He's going to be fighting.
Yeah.
He's going to be fighting Edgar Barbary.
Oh my gosh!
Did you
out of the yard? Shout out to Edgar.
Yeah,
Shout out to Lewis.
It's going to be the Yard versus CMMA. I mean, I've got Black House versus CMMA. I've got Black House. I mean, I've got all these insane Kings MMA versus Black House, all kinds of crazy matchups.
I love this, and that needs to be said because if you live in Southern California, these are your gyms and these are your people. Come out and see them fight. If you're not training there, you're driving past that gym.
And
you want to see your people.
And is it hyperbole when I say that these are the best gyms in the world?
Yeah.
No,
not at all.
Am I wrong?
Well, they're known worldwide, and we see UFC fights in Brazil, and they're still representing those gyms, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Yeah, man. So it's kind of crazy that obviously you did 4 straight shows, as amateur MMA, but what was the decision to kind of turn it over for Fighters Rep 5 to make it unified striking?
Okay, because as a sort of business-minded person, my whole family's they're not educated. I'm the first generation to kind of go to school. My whole family, they're hardcore entrepreneurial business people. And so I grew up with the mentality that where there's a need, where there's a void, you go after it and you try to build upon it. And especially if it's something you love. I mean, if you love what you're doing, it's not a job, kind of, that whole mentality.
That's so smart, though.
Who's doing striking shows? Like, who's doing striking shows?
Glory in you, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too many people, you know what I'm saying? Especially on a professional level. And again, it's a shame that you have to wait for Glory, which is a European-based company, to come to the United States to compete. If you want to do kickboxing. You could maybe do lion fights, you can do Muay Thai or whatever, but hardly anyone's doing kickboxing. It's very seldom done, and I want to fill that void.
Yeah, I mean, there's like WCK that runs a fight either at the Bike or Burbank Marriott.
Well, they don't do the Bike anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't
there
think
hasn't been one at the Bike in a while.
Yeah, guess what? The Bike doesn't want fights there.
Wow.
Now, quick question.
So we got Joey the Bull. Come on, ask George a question, please.
Just you mentioned about a UK fighter fills up big soccer arenas in UK. Now, of course, we have like somebody like Blake Troop. He's crazy.
Yeah,
but
he's a crazy man.
In L.A., San Diego, say out in this area, you got a huge Hispanic audience.
Yeah.
Now, I don't keep track of too much of MMA, but how big is MMA in Mexico? If we can bring some of those Mexican fighters here, and I guarantee if you bring the big Mexican or Spanish names from South America in Mexico to bring them here to the States, will that draw huge attention and sell at arenas because they're representing Mexico? Because they're predominantly Mexican.
You know they're traditional boxers down there.
But but MMA is coming up too. I mean, you had that UFC fighter that was fighting. I forget the guy's name, but he was.
They're familiar, but
why not just have a Mexican American fighter?
Well, that's what I meant. Mexican American fighter or Mexican fighter that represents, because the fact that a lot of people that live out in this area, or L.A., Orange County, are predominantly a lot of Hispanics, and I think that would show like, oh my God, like this guy's representing a Mexican American or Mexico to sell out arenas.
If I may, there are tons of Mexican American and Latin American fighters. Yeah. There are tons, and they're competing all the time. Right. I would almost go as far to say they're probably the majority of fighters
in Southern California.
We're not even close to selling out an arena.
Well, the reason why I say that because when I do watch UFC, I see a lot of the fighters either come from Brazil, and a lot of them come across the seas, but you rarely see that representative of. How would you say? I know Mexican American, but actually a Mexican fighter.
Are they filling soccer stadiums down there?
Well, yeah. I know tamales and tacos all day. You know what I mean?
I wonder. Valid question. Thank you. Combate's kind of on the way up too with that. They're going to be in Mexicali.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's
speaking of Mexican Americans, one just left the building.
Well, I understand. No, I totally understand that. But I'm just saying because I know he was saying that UK fighters are pretty huge in the UK, and they build this audience because there's a UK representative.
Gotcha.
So you get what I'm saying?
There's a Mexican fighter that owns this dojo.
Well, yeah.
Okay, but let me go ahead and kind of split that argument up a bit. Anthony Joshua is from the UK, but I mean, I think originally he's Nigerian.
Wow, that's right.
Or his parents are from there or whatever. So it would be the equivalent of a Mexican American, or an African American, or anything else. So I mean, my point is that they've built their fight culture up over there. To the point where I wish we could build our fight culture up here. And the reason they were able to do it over there is because there was an investment done in the media and in the sport to get these guys as personalities out to the people.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great American fighters here in America themselves. Yeah. I just figure in the culture out in this neck of the woods, you got more of a Hispanic environment.
The closest you can get was maybe De La Hoya and also now Canelo. Yeah. I think Canelo is the
he's the man of the people.
The man, but Canelo's one in a billion.
The thing is, UFC did try to do that when they had Kane as champion.
That's true.
That's who they had as the Mexican American push. They played a lot about his story, especially a lot of his lead ups. They even had him sign with Milwaukee Tools, and they did weird commercials and promos where you would normally see Americans doing that spot, but they had Cain Velasquez in them and showing him in his his muscle cars and just trying to mix it up with his father doing what he did to keep their family going. So they tried him. Roger Huerta was the first guy from UFC to be on ESPN, and he worked.
But I love that. I love that you bring all those things up. But where did they go with that? They did it once. They did it twice.
The problem is Cane's consistency of holding that title at that time wasn't the best.
And then what about Roger Huerta? Where did he go? We always wonder, right?
He's in one, got kicked in the face.
Right?
I mean,
right?
I don't think necessarily we should focus on ethnicity or nationality.
I don't think
it's just, again, in the UK, the guy's originally, I think, Nigerians. But in the UK, he's a monster.
Yeah.
So, again, to me, that indicates that they didn't really concentrate on his ethnicity. They probably just built up their fight culture. And that's what's important. That's right. What's important.
Well, they're as mixed as we are. In London, it looks as mixed as L.A.
Yeah.
If not more. You know what I mean? So absolutely. And fight culture exists there at a high level. We do know that we have great gyms here. We have great places for people to train in, up-and-coming fighters galore. But they have some fight culture there with boxing, with now MMA. Dutch Muay Thai guys that are just around the block. It's just amazing. Savate guys in France.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's mixing it up there. You got Sambo there. You got all kind of different things in Europe. So you're getting different kind of fighters. And I know UFC is aware, and I know that Bellator and some of these other bigger promotions are aware because they're bringing them over, and we're getting people from around the world, and they're taking it to that next level. So it's evolving. And go ahead.
Oh, so I mean, the Latin fan base is something that has almost been a quandary for a lot of North American, especially MMA promotions, in the sense that, I mean, that's a demographic that UFCs try to, bank on a multitude of times, but never really kind of caught fire. I think that was almost the sole reason for Combate Americas, and one of the forefathers of the UFC in Campbell McLaren starting Combate Americas that really features like Latin, base fighters or, had origins in either from Mexico all the way down to Brazil and the Central Americas. And they even ran shows there. With the UFC's kind of marketing Cain Velasquez in that way as he was the Mexican champion, I think it was a couple different things that why it didn't work with Cain. First off, he was injury ridden. After he lost the UFC title, he was, he's been out for 2 years as of us speaking right now. That's one. And then two, when he did lose the title, he lost it to Fabrício Werdum, who's a Brazilian who ended up, literally went there to kind of, because the fight was in Mexico City, right? So that was them trying to capitalize on it.
Yep.
So it was in Mexico City. Obviously, anybody that knows anything about Mexico City in terms of the altitude, it's crazy, way, way, way above sea level. Yep. So Werdum actually
and
went
pollution.
Absolutely. So Werdum actually went out almost 3 months before the fight to a elevation higher than Mexico City, and
you go train at Machu Picchu.
Right, absolutely. Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. So
whatever you got to do, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also the fact that he's got the brown pride tattoo across his chest, and every time he wins, he wraps the Mexican flag around his fists. He didn't know Spanish, and that was a major cog, at least what I saw in the evolution of that. And again, you have somebody that is primarily, proud of being Mexican to the point of a tattoo and wrapping the country flag, but you don't speak Spanish, and the one who spoke Spanish is the one who knocked him out, who's a Brazilian who spoke more Spanish than the
That's an interesting
Mexican champion.
But, building the fighter, who we look at is Conor. Conor came from virtually nowhere. No one knew his name, and all of a sudden he's a world-class star, the biggest star out there now, and in record time. But did it because he fought his way up. You can like him or not like him, but he had to back up his words. You could talk all kind of crap, but you got to back it up. And essentially, I think that's what they were not able to do. Huerta and Cain and
right. Well, even
Conor talked his way into $100 million fight. Come on.
Yeah, it doesn't get more fight business
Who
than that.
Who wouldn't take that fight?
He's a beast,
right?
Absolutely. But you've even seen to take Cain Velasquez off the table in terms of UFC's expansion into Mexico. They tried it with Eric Goyito Perez, and you couldn't play into like the pride of Mexico anymore. The guy is a Lucha Libre fan. Lucha Libre, for those who know, it's pretty much like,
that's where you're going to get your viewers down there.
Yeah. Superheroes and gods come to life with the máscaras and what have you. So they did that. I don't think that they...
You're very well versed in Mexican culture. You're blowing me away here because you even have the terms.
Yeah.
And where does that come from?
Watching a shit ton of Lucha Libre, my friend.
Is that what it is?
Hell yeah.
Where is your wife? Is your wife from there? No? How does this work? I just try to figure out where you got this stuff. Trump doesn't watch the show. Don't worry.
No. Okay. I'm not going to get deported, so sweet. 10 points.
Oh, anyway. Where's that wall?
Anyway.
It's coming.
Ask John Malice.
That's right.
On the Royal Ramble.
That's
up
right.
next on Free Admission Media
I'm scared
Network.
of that, yes.
Yeah, man. But it's so weird because I just grew up in LA.
That's
and
good,
Spanish is what you have to know.
I know it. Everybody's got a mask in their closet around here.
And then, being Fijian, a lot of our vernacular is a bit the same. We have what we serve with the curry is called roti. So when people would be like, "Hey, that's my Uncle
roti
Rodolfo,"
it's like a tortilla.
Yeah.
And they would be like, "Hey, that's my Uncle Rodolfo." They'd get geeked out that I could roll my R's. So that's it. But
pretty cool.
this gentleman to my right also speaks more than a tad of Spanish.
Coming from Miami, come on, Tony Montana's brother.
Yo no ahora casa is Adam.
It's a Hassa on the couch right here.
That's tremendous. So, did any of you guys catch the Hababa of the UFC ESPN Plus card?
Of course.
I've been waiting
Let's hear it.
to kind of talk about it.
Let's hear a little bit of it.
I want to get your guys' opinion.
Ask me
before I go into
specifically,
tangent.
which one?
So first off, I guess we're gonna talk about
Dillashaw?
let's talk about the experience. Obviously, this is the UFC's first fight on the ESPN kind of network.
And let me tell you, man, Eddie Hearn's great, but nobody does it like the UFC, man. They are killing it. You're on ESPN now.
Yeah, absolutely,
unbelievable.
And I mean, that's after a stellar.
They are annihilating the fight game. Those guys.
Yeah.
Say what you want about them, but they're killing
No.
it.
So I mean, but the difficulty of the actual stream. So I mean, it was a deal where the first half of the card was on the ESPN Plus app. Then you had to switch over for the Cerrone fight to regular ESPN, and then back for the remaining two fights.
I would never have been able to get that accomplished, but I was at someone's house who knew all this stuff, and bam, 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 it was done. So I guess if you're young and you're savvy, it's okay. If you're me, forget about it. I can't even find the channel.
Yeah, I've got gray underpants, so I'm not.
You got gray inside your pants.
10 points. Right on. It looks like the Polynesian Panda's got something.
Stephen A. Smith's got to go, though.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
You gotta get rid of him, please.
Oh, my gosh.
You know, you say that. You say that. But how many casuals and guys from other sports did he suck in? You know, I'm with you. He doesn't know enough about the sport maybe to know what he's talking about. But I mean, you've got so many fans from so many different sports and so many other communities that tuned in just because Stephen A. was there.
I disagree with that slightly. I say Stephen A. Smith gave validity to them for his point of his fans. But the draw, I don't believe the draw was there yet. I say, I don't think they promoted it. I didn't even know he was on there. I didn't see any promotion, and I watch ESPN. So, like, I didn't know he was going to be on there. So I see what you're saying. It makes perfect sense. But validity, I believe. Yes, I believe, like, having Stephen A. Smith next to the other guys gives him a little bit more to the ESPN viewers. Like, oh, Stephen A. Smith is a professional. He does all this with ESPN. These guys now are cool.
And
too.
he's exciting.
Yeah,
man.
he is.
I mean, he can talk about anything and get you riled up. He'll rile you up for anything, if you ask me. You know?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I just don't want to see Stephen A. Smith everywhere. That's my problem. It's not more so he doesn't know what he's talking about. I just don't want to see him on every single sport I'm watching lately.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess, again, the continuity for the ESPN show was everything. And having him kind of placed there, I mean, it served its purpose in one way, at least to the execs at ESPN. And we soon forget, the UFC did the same thing when they first appeared on Fox. It wasn't, obviously it's not Jay Glazer, but they had another Fox personality that came in, and you were just like...
No bad words.
Yes. Oh, okay. And he just, I mean, he stunk out the joint, man. And it was just like... What is going on?
It's a different vibe, right?
Yeah, obviously. But I mean, when you look at the roster of ESPN kind of analysts and what have you, I mean, a point could be made that, you know, they could have got Max Kellerman, who's on the payroll, who's a boxing guy, who would at least articulated the striking aspect of it.
Sure.
But I mean,
it's a network.
But him and Stephen A. are always on First Take, going back and forth about boxing. They do that every day, and it's so entertaining. Everybody, they've got millions of views, I think, on YouTube.
They're not thinking of us. It's all those other.
They're just trying to bring people in to watch.
That's right. That's
absolutely.
right.
So,
it's a network. Remember that. It's huge. It's bigger than what we know.
Yeah. I guess, yeah. I mean, it's fair. It's fair.
You know?
And again, they're breaking in the big bucks, so...
Yeah.
Valid point, but how about the fights? Those were interesting fights. I thought you were going to talk about that a little bit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, obviously, Cerrone getting the win. I mean, literally, like,
starching a young upstart who talked a lot.
I love
of
Donald
shit.
Cerrone. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what people think. I just love people I love, and I think he's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a
Right?
bad dude.
A lot,
I like
40
him.
Zuffa fights alone, just Zuffa.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably 30 or 4 more, 30 or 40 more elsewhere, right?
Absolutely.
Getting his way up.
WBC,
It's a lot of fights.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot of mileage.
I became aware of Cerrone on the old Tap Out show on Versus.
Yeah.
And when they used to go around sponsoring fighters, the Tap Out crew of Scrape and Mask and Punk Ass and
Yeah,
whatever.
Robert played basketball with those guys.
Yeah, I mean, Tim, Skyscrape?
Skyscrape. Yeah,
he's
absolutely.
a friend of mine. And they actually did a show here for Jerry Noche.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, they did.
Wow.
Tap Out came here one day. We were training. That's right.
Yeah. No, I left.
Well, I was here.
I saw Tim was like, I'm out. Forget it.
Actually, he's right because you're like, hey, Pox. And I'm like, how do you know those guys?
Wow.
But Robert's on basketball courts left and right back then.
Yeah, right on. Polynesian Panda representing.
Before he
All I
found the
know
plate
is
lunch again.
I was going to be a joke of a lot of conversations, so I left before that happened.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Cerrone was good. I mean, to see him finish like that was really cool.
Sick.
And I can't remember the gentleman's name, but I mean Hernandez. I want to say
Alexander Hernandez.
Yeah, Alexander
Yeah.
Hernandez. I mean, was talking a
memory.
great deal.
Yeah.
I mean, up to his shit talking to like umpteenth degree, and I think he was actually classy because if you saw his post after, you know, he was just like, hey, you know, something to the effect. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing, but you know, obviously there's levels and what have you, and you know, like he's a legend and what have you. He kind of went back and he said, I've got more experience to do. I thought that was really classy of him, in spite of like kind of the hype. But again, it's to sell fights, so I think he accomplished his deal.
Sometimes being honest is the best way to sell something. You know what I mean?
That gives me
be
a
eloquent about it. Yeah.
Question for George. At the level of right now of amateurs, they don't really have a venue to like go back and forth on a panel like that.
Yeah.
So that those guys can start talking. But then
Bring 'em in
without
here,
the
George.
So those are things that you probably are already thinking of, I bet, right?
I try to upload 2 interviews a week.
Right.
We just started a month and a half, 2 months ago. But whether it's pro fighters or amateur fighters, I just did an open workout for these guys and had Adam come out and interview.
I saw that.
A few of them.
A big old sign that said "Welcome, Adam," according to Woods. I'm like, where is he getting this clout?
At UFC Gym La
Right.
Mirada,
Yeah,
and we live streamed.
I loved it. I loved every second of it.
So I'm trying to. If you want to set up a press conference for amateurs, I mean, you might as well be herding cats, you know. But I have to take the opportunities where I can find them, and interviews and stuff like that, open workouts. That's the opportunity. And then, like I said, interviews post fight in the cage or in the ring.
So awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm all for it. And I think it's so important because that's what makes me, because I do go to amateur fights, want to see the next fight. I want to know more about this guy. Here I saw the interview. Now let's see what he's got, what he's made of. And then I remember him next time. Then before you know it, we see him moving on.
And then if I may, I'd like to plug Vahan, my camera guy that I told you guys he edits and does stuff for the UFC. So Vahan's working on his own side project, but he also uploads it to the Fighters Rep YouTube channel. It's called Amateurs.
Yes.
Where he does these fantastic documentaries on these guys, and he like follows them around for
That's
a number
so
of
cool.
days. And we're doing one almost like a 24/7 sort of embedded style documentary on the main event for our next Saturday's card on February 2nd. So it'll probably be up at the beginning or middle of next week before the fights. So definitely check it out.
Again, where was that at?
It's going to be on the Fighters Rep YouTube channel. Please subscribe. You know, we're trying to get these guys some attention. So just go to YouTube Fighters Rep and you'll see it. We've done them before too.
I love it. I'll definitely subscribe to that because that's something I'm excited to see, and I want to know more about the guys that are fighting. So, very cool. Again, with George Francis representing Fighters Rep here. Subscribe to that channel. Check out all that footage, kind of like an embedded style, 24-hour following of the fighter. You get to know the fighter a lot better. My man, Adam, according to Woods here, representing as well. Jim Crashers and according to Woods.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You know what? And we had Henry Corrales. Thank you so much for coming out. This is a very big fight against Aaron Pico. So, you know, I know you come from this dojo itself at one time, and it was just great to have you home. And wish you all the best of luck. And go check George out on February 2nd.
February 2nd, Seal Beach at the AIM Sportsplex. We're doing the first ever fight in that building. And it's a nice, beautiful, clean building. The parking is free, huge parking lot. It's a massive indoor area. It's 4 basketball courts side by side. The best young talent in California and maybe in the world is going to be there competing. Over 20 fights, drinks, micheladas, VIP tables, food, whatever you want. It's going to be there.
That's
DJ
right.
all night.
I love it.
There you go.
Come check
Come
it
support a local fighter. Come support your local gym. If you don't fight and you just see that gym in your neighborhood, come watch the guys that train there fight. That's what this is all about. So I'm Dondo. This is Gym Crashers. Like us. Subscribe to us. And before we tune out, we got Adam, according to Woods.
I just kind of want to go on a little. Did you guys see the design of the UFC belt? So I mean, to me,
I knew there was one more thing.
Oh jeez, oh my goodness. I'm gonna let you guys go because I've got some things.
I've seen worse. I don't hate it.
I'm all right with it.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't know. I'm not a guy that worries about that kind of thing. So
Yeah, it kind of looks like a ring.
Sure.
It kind of looked like
A
a
Super
ring
Bowl
to
ring?
me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you guys as a diplomatic
that's
take
the
on
truth. That wasn't even diplomatic. I don't know.
I'm not worried. Yeah, I don't care about it. I care about, you know, the fight.
If I won that belt anyways, I would wear nothing but the belt for at least a month. I'd go to the grocery store with that belt with everything just dangling.
Okay.
Right? Well, for what it's worth, I would show it all.
I'm gonna stretch out for a bit. They're literally back cracking here, but okay. So this is where Dana White and the UFC, because obviously it's not just Dana White that ended up, deciding and giving the thumbs up to it. There had to be a panel on the dais of some sort. I want to believe. This is where Dana White and the UFC out WWE Vince McMahon in the WWE because literally, I mean, the Universal or WWE titles, the current incarnations of them, are essentially the precursor to what we saw. And it was almost like, hey, Vince, I can make a shitty, just branded title, and we're going to put that out, and we're going to give it to the men and the women and whatever, and we're just going to have a big-ass logo, and there it is. That's it. Dana's like, hold my beer, because for somebody that is fighting or working towards something, right? To call yourself a champion when in any genre, I mean, that's one of the reasons why we watch the Super Bowl. Millions upon millions of people watch the Super Bowl to see what's going to happen, and again, what stakes there are. When you have a title that looks gaudy like that, and it's like, why would I fight for that? I'm like, hey, how many fights in my contract? Okay, Bellator, cool. ONE FC, cool. Because that piece of shit. I'm sorry. I'm gonna.
Man, Adam, you're not. You're
man,
upset
I'm hot
about this.
The thoughts and opinions of Adam Woods are just for Adam Woods.
Yeah, this is according to
for the
Woods
show.
right here. Don't fault for Ida's rep. Please come see the show in Seal Beach on February 2nd.
Again, if I get that belt, I'll wear it everywhere with nothing else on.
Okay. And again, here's the thing. So the ideology behind the belt, right? You're going to have the fighter's weight class, right? The fighter's weight class and their country of origin as the removable side plates. That's, again, a WWE Vince McMahon kind of creation. And their current incarnation of the Universal and WWE and the women's titles, respectively. So then you've got a gem to represent every title defense. Okay. That's cool.
A gem? What is this? Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah, absolutely. Or no, it's a troll. It's a treasure troll. You rub its fucking belly and whatever. But here's the thing.
My friend Adam Woods is very passionate about this.
Where did this come from?
I missed it.
Because again,
I was on my way out 5 minutes ago, but I'll just let him run.
If you're a champion, right, you want to fight for the belt. That thing, it should be something.
Isn't it just a symbol? Is it the belt itself?
It's
the idea of having
the fact that you are a champion of said organization, right?
I don't know about all that.
With that all being said, you want to fight for it, not run away from it, or be a little attaché of Tommy the White Ranger's fucking suit. God.
It is.
Yeah,
I could see it on Tommy.
Yeah,
I could see
absolutely.
It on
and I think there's memes about it. But here's the thing. Okay, so ideology-wise, it's kind of crazy because before that, they were just, if you had a title defense, you got a title belt, right? Mm-hmm. So what happens with all the people that have
8+ belts on whatever. Okay. Oh, now you get a gym? Like what? I don't understand.
I see what you mean.
I don't understand it. So again,
I
that's
see that you're
tangent.
heated, but isn't it the idea of being a champ that matters? Right?
Not if you're walking to a bar and nobody knows who you are.
Okay,
I'm just saying, but. That's my tangent. You can send the hate mail to According to Woods.
Please do.
I'm just saying, but absolutely. But you should
at According to Woods on Instagram.
On Instagram and Adam K Woods on Twitter. I don't care. I'll get the heat. I don't care. But again, big shout out to Henry Corrales, who goes into
absolutely,
like Michael Williams says, into the Bellator cage. This Saturday.
What a fight that's going to be.
That's going to be crazy. Him and Aaron Pico. We got the finals of the heavyweight Grand Prix.
Yep.
Ryan Bader looks
versus
to be
Fedor.
a double champion, not champ. Oh, I hate that bloody term. I guess.
Champ.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Champ.
Yeah. We've got Jake Hager, the former Jack Swagger, making his MMA debut on a big stage.
Ryan the Lion Lilly, my homeboy.
Dang right, and he's
all the best
James
to you,
Muka
buddy. Ryan's fighting James Muka Barnes.
Yeah, man.
I had no idea about that. I didn't know his competitor was.
Crazy fight. The return of Thor the Hammer Skank.
Yes, Thor is out of retirement for this fight at Bellator.
Absolutely, man, and
Long Beach Fight Night veteran.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, that's one thing that Bellator does great is, of course, you've got your main card fight, but you've got a whole slew of local talent kind of filling up the card.
Yep.
So shout out to all you guys. Good skill.
Yep.
And again, if you guys don't already know, February 2nd, it's going down in Seal Beach.
Unbelievable.
United Striking. Fighters Rep 5. Saturday, February 2nd. You want to see that.
I'm out there.
Francis, again, thank you so much. We're going to be here. Be there, actually.
I'll be there.
February 2nd. And if you haven't already done
Groundhog's
so, follow
Day.
Fighters Rep on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Give them a like. Come on. You'll see a fight. I'm just saying.
Share the link.
Sweet ass merch like the Lion of Judah logo inspired.
The Lion of Zion.
Yeah, man. It's all going down. And again, the Gym Crashers OG and John Arredondo.
That's right.
What's going on, Dondo? Thank you guys for joining us. And up next, at the top of the hour, will be the Royal Ramble. Holy smokes.
With Jonathan
again,
Malice.
This is Adam Woods, or According to Woods, the Phrygian Freak Show, the Phrygian Bulldog.
That's right.
On the Free Admission Media Network. Thank you guys for tuning in. And again, top of the hour, the Royal Ramble.
I'm glad you don't hate my belt.
Oh, that's a beautiful belt. Actually, Google the Fighters Rep title. It's a take on the Big Green WBC belt that Tyson used to carry. That's a beautiful belt.
Thank you, Adam.
And again, yeah, and I'm not saying that because it is. I'm just saying. So this is According to Woods. We're out.
That was passionate.
I hope you never win an Oscar.
You're gonna need a cigarette now.
I'm just saying, man.